she started skipping school. Her life wasn't that good. She found solace in music in her early life. That was difficult, so it was difficult to shine for. In 1930, she began singing in local clubs, and then she renamed herself Billie after Billie Beth.
Okay, fantastic. So what was her part of the Harlem Renaissance, what we learned today? How was she a part of it?
Was in like the music part of it, like cultural, adding to music, different changes.
Okay, so she was active in
the jazz
in the jazz. Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's see. Blue. Who wrote in blue? Okay, what can you guys tell us here? What did you know starting off?
That he influenced jazz music with his private playing.
And how did you know that? Where did it come from?
I know that. I've heard his music, and I was in band, so they talked about him.
All right, so he's very well known just to start off with, okay?
Right.
And what did you want to know based off of that picture?
Why was he important and fun facts about him?
Okay, and what did you learn?
He had a few nicknames. His father left him when he was born. His mom was a prostitute, and he was raised by his grandparents. He was arrested for firing his stepfather's gun on New Year's Eve. He married a prostitute, Daisy Parker. He had a heart attack in Italy. And he was important because he influenced jazz music in the Harlem Renaissance.
Okay, so very colorful past, I guess you could say. And all right, so he's kind of considered one of the most influential individuals when it comes to the music of the Harlem Renaissance. All right, so let's move on to Green. What can you tell us about?
Well, we knew nothing about him from
before. All right.
And we want to know what he did to contribute in the Harlem Renaissance. And he immigrated from Russia to New York. He was one of the most popular songwriters in the U.S. He came to the U.S. to escape the region's persecution. His nickname was King of Tin Pan Alley because of his major hit, Alexander's Ragtime Band. And his two major hits were White Christmas and Cheek to Cheek. But he was an active in the jazz part of the Harlem Renaissance.
So was anything surprising you by his picture?
He wasn't black.
Okay, so we keep talking about the African American influence on the Harlem Renaissance, but so he wasn't African American, but we're saying that he was a huge part of the scene, correct? Does that make sense that someone could be part of the scene and not be African American? Okay, so that struck all of you kind of.
Well, it said Harlem Renaissance. It didn't really say black.
Yeah.
Harlem is just.
So we're seeing a rebirth. Now, you said that he came from Russia to New York, so he would be considered an immigrant, right? So he was a minority as well. And did anybody catch what else he was famous for writing?
God bless America.
God bless America. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's go on to Orange. Who did you have?
Langston Hughes.
Okay, what did you know beforehand?
He's a poet.
Okay, and what did you want to know once you saw his picture?
When did he die? When was he born? And what was his contribution to the Renaissance?
Okay, and what did you learn?
We learned his real name, and we learned he's born on February 1st, 1902, in Joplin, Missouri. And he died May 22nd, 1967, in New York. He went to Columbia and Lincoln University. He was a novelist, playwright, and a poet, and he's a major contributor to the Harlem Renaissance.
Okay, so how did he contribute to the Harlem Renaissance?
Poetry.
Through his poetry, absolutely. And during the PowerPoint, what did we say his view on through his poetry? What was he speaking to? Who was he speaking to?
Other African Americans.
Okay, he was speaking to other African Americans about what? Anybody remember? We just covered this.
Against discrimination.
Exactly. So his voice was going to be about discrimination during this time period. So that's what we're going to link Langston Hughes, his poetry is going to speak about the discrimination that was being seen. And lastly, the group that used black. What can you tell me? Who did you have?
We had a county Cullen.
All right.
We didn't know anything about this person, so that's why I wrote that for what we want to know.
Just real quick, did any group know this gentleman beforehand? Anybody have anything?
He was black.
Okay, so you knew that before you even saw his picture? You knew that?
His name.
Really?
Wow. Wow.
I mean, well, yeah, but, I okay, you think that.
Like county.
So you think there are certain names that different races, ethnic groups select?
Yeah. Like
what?
Guys, let's listen.
From Asia, their names are different from ours.
Well, I know, yeah, but they're not English, okay? You think in English names. And you're right to a certain extent. It's without, he's not saying that with prejudice. He's
Yeah, I mean, like, Tommy Bean.
Bradley.
What?
I know. There's a. Is that his last name? He used to be on 60 Minutes. Started wearing earrings. I understand, but most African Americans took the names of their masters coming out of.
Africa.
Yeah, and their masters are the ones that named them. So.
See, from the other side of the country. Or,
So you were guessing though with the name. So you didn't know that for sure, but you were guessing using his name. Okay, so what did you want to know? Oh, okay. What did you want to know? Okay. Okay, so he's taking a classic European style and he's going to change it a little bit by putting a little bit of an African American twist on it. So he's kind of creating something new through his poetry. Okay, so he added to the Harlem Renaissance culture. So, in all, did you learn some things you didn't know about these individuals? Did you learn about individuals you didn't even know were contributing to the Harlem Renaissance?